Hey everybody, thanks for joining me on another episode of Weekend Wanderers. We are in Moab, late September 2021. We're up in the LaSalle Mountains, looking at snow from the night before, looking at an adventure alpaca from weeks ago, who's still with us. And while we were up here, we were very fortunate to see some early color changes. Took the Overlook bypass route from South Moab over to, I believe, 128, which is the Colorado River. Found a beautiful overlook. Apparently this is a very common, frequented area for cyclists. They will get to the top of the mountain and ride all the way back down to the bottom. And who could blame them? It was absolutely gorgeous up here. The weather was very chilly. Late September reminded me more of mid-December. Very dry, very cold. Got a chance to see some of the clouds come up through the valley. They actually chased us for a little bit as the weather rapidly changed due to the mountains pushing up the condensation. This was a gorgeous high-speed road that we took very, very easy. Got a chance to see a lot of high-altitude lakes, some wonderful camp spots up in here, as most of this is also public land. Cannot wait to go back next time and get a nice cool campsite in the hot summer up here. Looking down on Castle Valley, the sun and clouds gave us a great juxtaposition of shade towards us and bright red below us. There's the clouds beginning to sock us in just as we were coming down. Here we are down in the valley. It is easy 30, 35 degrees warmer down here. The clouds were behind us, the sun was above us, and we were surrounded on all sides by red rock cliff faces and beautiful smooth blacktop road. There were so many places to pull over here, it just was spoiled for choice. Headed a little further out and found a nice set of twisties. Thoroughly enjoyed having the red rocks close. Gives you a really good idea of how tall the rocks behind you on the cliffside really, really are. We turned right off of Castle Valley Road, and several miles down the way found Dewey Bridge. I was told by the locals at St. Danes Campground that I needed to check this out. Definitely an interesting story. The locals say it was some kids playing with a lighter that burned it down. The official says it was a brush fire. Here we are at Fischer Towers. I absolutely did not hike the mile and a half out and mile and a half back. However, I did go to Onion Creek, and folks, let me tell you, this is my favorite road by far in Moab. The colors, the lizards, the butterflies, the absolute smell of that red clay as it's rushing by you in that milky, chalky water. Kit, I don't know, a dozen or so river crossings in, and you end up finding out why they call it Onion Creek. There is a sulfur dapper, which is a sulfur spring that comes up and through, and you'll notice the change. You'll be able to see that the river and the rocks around it take on a little bit of a green. Don't mind Littlefoot, we were playing around there for a minute. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, that is a street sign in the middle of a red dirt road, and that is a bridge that says 5-ton limit. Probably 60, 70 feet to the bottom. Felt stable. Was absolutely just amazed when I found it, and then come into this cathedral-like valley. You can see where the rocks are changing a little bit. I think that's where they've been pushed up through some of that sulfur strata. You can see a little bit of the sulfur itself kind of along the edges of the creek up in the rocks damp and a little bit of crystalline to them. The red dirt down here definitely didn't stick to your tires. This was running across one of the LaSalle ridges, probably the most technical part of this. Some of this got a little narrow, not much wider than the road itself, up into, I believe it's Fischer Valley. Fischer Valley, wow, what an expanse. Absolutely gorgeous. Grasslands, cows, cattle ranches, and no clue how they got them up there. I want to thank everybody for joining us.